Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
With the big, bold flavour of HP sauce, making breakfast legendary.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane on this occasion. Text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
On this occasion,
did that sound to you like I've been given my marching orders? And that
well, you make yourself feel good.
Have you been given your marching powder? No, I just, who knows, you know, it's just like saying if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise.
Have you sorted everything out with the producer?
Yes, we're getting on fine now.
Okay. You're a bit short with her.
Well, I'm a bit of a git. Did you forget?
Yeah.
By
You
the
also
way,
always acknowledge your mistakes, and that's why we love you.
that was my mistake.
Everyone's telling each other they love each other on today's show. What's
It's not a bad thing. It's
No, it's
like
fine.
Big
love
Brother.
him.
It's fine. I love you, Frank.
I love you too.
I love him
Actually,
more.
that one I didn't enjoy so much.
I'm sure it's great radio, but hey, let's crack on.
Oh, I don't know. I think people like it.
Well, you're only here on this occasion, so we'll be the judge of that.
I heard some Radio 2 this morning. I haven't heard Radio 2 for years.
Oh, who's on that then these days?
Oh, I didn't know who it was, but it's like sort of Magic. You know, Magic FM. It was like that for like people who tried at school. And you know, they have a phone in. They have a phone in, and the phone in was a weevil eats its way through the Encyclopedia Britannica until it gets to its own entry at W. And then it says there's so many volumes, and this is the thickness of the paper, and it eats at this rate. How long will it I thought this is like, it's O-level maths question. He's phoning.
QI.
Ours was what's the best thing you've ever seen on a luggage carousel last week.
That's true,
Theirs
yeah.
was proper mental arithmetic.
You know what? I just say keep it light, loves.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I bet they love the old Tuies.
Tui.
Yeah, who'd have thought that, though? And I'll tell you what the driver said to me this morning. I was driven in by, I don't know exactly where he's from, but like Eastern Europe, and he said to me,
Oh, it's okay to do the accent then.
I'm not going to do the accent.
Okay.
He said, I'll do it if you like. Well, what I was listening to. He said, he said, what I like is I listen through the night, and the trouble is with magic is that you get the same songs over and over. And I thought, I've been Absolute for 6 years, and I've always thought that the whole no repeat guarantee was a lot of baloney that no one cared about. I've actually found the bloke who actually doesn't want to hear the same song twice during the night.
Although I'm not sure it covers the night time, the no repeat
Does
guarantee.
it cover the night time?
I don't think so.
Oh, doesn't it?
Oh, no.
It's all right, you're going to be working
I
it.
was just
to the top
giving
people.
a big shout out to the no repeat guarantee.
Didn't mean to trample on it.
By the way, we're now available on FM in the West Midlands. Did you know that?
I know.
As from
I was
last
very
week.
excited.
Yeah, you don't have to go to your laptop. There's only 4 in the West Midlands, so that's good.
And they've got the internet cafes.
If there's anyone listening from the West Midlands, yeah, you're good, I'm all right, are you?
And I will say to you, how bin ya?
Yeah.
Excellent work. Oh man, I had the strangest thing happen to me this week. I was checking into a hotel with a
Not remotely sleazy.
I was checking into a hotel with a makeup artist, in fact.
Oh, Frank. That's a bit rude one, isn't it?
It was a
Going by the name
professional.
of Mrs. Smith.
It's a professional engagement.
Yeah.
And so I went up to the counter, and he said, "Name, please." And I said, "It's Frank." And she said, "Can I have a word with you?" And I said, "Yes."
Yeah.
I said, "Just a minute." I said, she said, you checked in under another name. I said, "Am I?" She said, "Yeah, because they were worried that people might phone, see you at the hotel and phone your room and stuff." I said, "Oh, okay." They're nice to meet someone who thinks I'm still that famous, I thought. And I said, "So what's my name?" She said, "Frank Liberty." I said, why have they chosen that? I said, "I don't know." So he said, "Yes, name, please." And I said, "Frank Liberty." And he said, "Okay." I thought, whoa, I can't believe I'm saying this. And Yeah. You know, you must have seen my statue. So he come and he filled all the thing, and I had to sign Frank Liberty, which is I'd never signed. I couldn't write Liberty. I'm just not used to it. And then when I left, worst of all, because I started to get the giggles, which was terrible. And he said to me anyway, thank you, Mr. Liberty. It sounded like a superhero. Thank you, Mr. Liberty. Thank you, citizen. And if ever evildoers trouble you again, remember to call for Mr. And I had to go through the whole thing. At breakfast, I was called Mr. Liberty. How are you through no fault of my own. Oh, my.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
To the Frank Liberty show.
Yes.
On Absolute Radio.
Frank Liberty. Diabolical Liberty. That would be one of the reviews. Headline of a very bad review.
One of your children. Diabolical Liberty.
Oh, and then I was out in North London, and you know
he gets about.
You know when you're about and you get bants.
Yeah.
You get some mega bants.
I love some bants.
You're one of the banter kings as well, aren't you?
I'm the master banterer.
Yeah.
I know I said master banterer.
Yeah, I know you did.
And this guy said to me, he was like with his whole family, like he looked like with three generations of his family, and somebody went Frank Skinner like that. So I looked round, and as you do, and he said we didn't recognise you because you're a lot greyer than we thought you were.
Oh,
and I thought, well, there's no need for that, is there? So he said, did you forget the Grecian 2000 today? And I could see what had happened then. He'd slightly separated himself from the family so that he was the man. He was to be fair to him, he was building an anecdote. I could see that happening.
Oh,
and I thought, fair enough, you know what I mean? It's a Saturday afternoon, I got up early.
Slightly old school reference, though. I think they took that off the market about 30 years ago. Does
it not exist? I suppose they took it off the market about 15 years ago. Would make sense. 2000 is long gone. Let's face it, the Grecians are.
Yeah.
They're on the edge. So anyway, I thought you got to give a return bounce.
Yeah.
You know, to complete the story.
Oh God.
So no, I don't feel any need to bowl the winning ball. You know what I mean?
Really?
Sorry,
No,
have you ever
not
said
enough.
anything so inaccurate about yourself?
in that context, I don't. You know when at Wimbledon when they have that knockabout, when they're just tapping the ball over the net to get used to it. That's the kind of bounce I'm working at that level.
Yeah.
I've still got my tracksuit top on, is what I'm saying. So. He said, "Oh, you forgot the guy," and I said, "Well, you'd know by the looks of it, because he looked like a guy who got darker hair than for his age." And suddenly his face changed.
Oh no!
He said, "No, I don't know." And I thought, "Oh no, he does use. Oh no, he does use it." And I've said that, and I'd accidentally hit a searing ace into the corner of it.
Well, he shouldn't have got involved in the bands.
He shouldn't have brought up Grecian 2000.
Yeah.
But then I thought, oh no, I've smart. I didn't. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be. He wasn't like a heckle put down.
How did it end, the bands?
Well,
terribly.
I think he would have still gone away. I think he's.
Well, no, he's not going to tell that anecdote now, is he?
Well, I don't know. You see, he might leave that bit out. I think his long-term aim was catering based. I think his plan was that he was going to dine out on that anecdote.
Oh, yeah.
When people say that, it's one of my favourite things. Of all my marvellous anecdotes, I've never actually got a meal out of one in my life. I might try it in a restaurant though. And do you take anecdote? Can you have that? Yeah. Instead of, when they do that sign calling for the machine to put the pin and
I'd
chip
love
and
that.
pin.
Yeah.
Frank, if they did that, you'd never be hungry again.
No, I'd call for a microphone. I'm planning to pay. Can I have a look at the anecdote menu? Oh, you said 2 courses for an anecdote, or 3 courses for an anecdote, including a celebrity. But what does anyone, if anyone listening has ever dined out on an anecdote, please...
That's a good question.
Please.
Extraordinary texting.
Text us.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What was the texting that you set up just before? Just before?
Oh, that was ages ago.
Oh, we can't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, to open the gates, I've found an email.
Have you ever literally dined out on an
that's
anecdote?
What it was, yeah. It's a good question. It's a really good question. In the meantime, we've been sent a question for you, Frank Skinner /Liberty. Dear Alan, interesting, begins Dear Alan, Dino and Frank. It's often established on the show that
Don't
Frank
like the billing much.
No, I didn't
I'm
think
all right with it. It's often established on the show that Frank has worked with them all. However, I was wondering what happens when 2 celebs chance upon one another when they haven't met before, e.g. in an airport lounge, I enjoy e.g., or on a tour of a castle ruin. I would assume that being
good insight into Frank's social life there.
I'm not so sure that there's many other celebs on the castle ruin tour, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've met anyone at a castle.
Yeah, you and Mary Beard. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I would assume that being of the same lofty social standing, there would be an implied kinship and pleasantries would be exchanged as if between old friends. Or does the interaction depend on the level of fame? For example, would Frank be more likely to approach Ed Sheeran and give him a hearty slap on the back, but only give Bob Dylan a knowing nod from a respectful distance? Praise redacted, he adds.
That's Chris in Glasgow.
Well, the thing with that is that, I mean, as much as I would love to nod to Bob Dylan, of course, he wouldn't know who I was. So, so that is... Ed Sheeran, I don't know. I love all gingers.
Yes.
But
He's meant to be ever so nice.
I do remember
There is love today, isn't it?
There is a thing which is the sort of celebrity passport, whereas if you'd see another celebrity, it's all right to go over.
Yes.
Like I remember I was walking and Helena Bonham Carter was coming the other way pushing a pram, and she said to me, we should speak, shouldn't we? And I said, yeah, how you doing? So really,
that's funny.
Yeah, yes. and we chatted, and I said, I really like your hat, and she said, that's all I remember about it. But so there is a bit of that. The one that really sticks in my... I was in a pub in Birmingham, and
what a night!
This is a while ago, and Paul Henry was in there. Now Paul Henry plays.
Was he Crossroads, Benny?
He played Benny from Crossroads.
Oh,
if I want a china, I do have a china. And
I believe his catchphrase was Miss Diane as well.
That's right. That's
right. Be some interesting googling for our international listeners. This Benny from Crossroads.
Yes.
Anyway, so Benny hadn't been in Crossroads for quite a while, but he owned a pub, or maybe he worked in it. But let's say he owned it. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. But there was no doubt of the benefit. Anyway, so...
you're both on fire.
Yes, so I walked in and I recognised him, and I walked over and we shook hands, and I looked round and the whole pub had stopped and watched me and Benny from Crossroads shake hands. It reminds me, there's an art house movie, I think, called Mephistopheles, where this bloke plays the devil in a play. And during the interval, he goes up into the royal box where several uniformed Nazis are sitting, and the senior officer of the Nazis stands up to greet him. And so you got an image of a bloke who's still made up as the devil shaking hands with the senior Nazi, and the whole audience are looking up in horror at this tableau. And that's what happened when I shook hands with Benny from Crossroads.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I've got another email from my Friday night troll here.
You love a Friday night.
I like
he
to
really
flick
does.
through in case stuff's been sent in.
They're a bit more loose, the Friday nighters.
I think so, yeah.
I used to love a Friday night troll.
This email is entitled, What Are You Doing? Bonjour, my favourite radio team. It's 10 p.m. Friday night French time, and I'm happily watching England...
Well then, surely that should be bonsoir.
Good point. Good point, Frank. That's how to make friends.
One thing, one to me.
That's how to make friends with him, is to correct his... It's 10 p.m. Friday night French time, and I'm happily watching England versus Fiji in the World Cup. I'm not too sure of Emily and Alan's feelings about the sport, but considering Frank's opinion, I hate rugby. I'm interested to know what you're all doing this evening. That is all. Expat Prisoner 215.
Are you asking us out?
I think he's interested in what we do on a Friday evening.
Oh, I see. I did watch some of the rugby and I quite enjoyed it.
So what was I doing at 10 o'clock French time? So that's 9 o'clock here, is it?
Yeah.
What were you up to?
I was watching on Sky Plus with my partner and her mother a thing called Synth Britannia.
Right.
Which is about all the famous women called Cynthia that had an effect on British history. No, it's about the synthesizer and the whole
Starts with Cynthia Payne.
the whole
An ending with Cynthia Payne.
So it's all about like 80s music, and it was actually really, really. It made me feel like going out and buying a Korg
Or a Moog.
or a Moog.
Yeah, why not? I was waiting for Curry to arrive and watching the rugby with...
Tim Curry.
No.
Okay.
No, Mark Curry.
Lamb curry, actually, but hey, you did ask. You did ask. With my friends Nick and Claire that I stayed with last night,
Nice.
and we had the rugby on. I don't mind the rugby since you asked.
I like it.
I don't hate it.
I don't
love it.
I don't know that what's interesting?
It's not that bad.
What's interesting for me is this is what non-football fans are like during,
Yes.
what I would call the proper World Cup. It's that it's going on, but it's just going on. You hear about it. I just have, I have tried.
The fans tend to be better dressed, if I'm going to be honest.
The rugby.
Well, yeah, you don't get the England
You must
supporter.
be kidding. That upturned
Come on.
rugby shirt and barber jacket look.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a
that
bad
is-
thing, is it?
Yeah,
Let's talk
it's
fashion.
disgusting.
I'll start.
Okay.
I
go
don't
on.
know. I don't know what they wear.
Yeah, but come on. Well, at least they don't wear the 3/4 length cut-off trousers, Frank. And the what are the shoes? that
My
you
only
pointed
really
out?
lasting memory was a woman called Erica Rowe, who did a sort of half streak at Twickenham.
Yes.
She didn't wear. She wore jeans.
Oh.
Full stop. But I don't have anything. People like what they like.
Yep.
They do.
You've changed. This show's really...
Simply Red, for example. Fine.
Who likes that?
Yeah, people do.
He's got a voice, though, hasn't he? He's got
No,
a voice.
people do. And that's fine. It's good, isn't it, that we like different stuff?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Good. Back me up, Em.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't feel that was said with a good spirit.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
So, listen, I told you I'd been fly-tipped. Did I tell you that? When someone had left...
Oh, yeah.
Another showbiz anecdote.
Someone had
Here we
left
go.
some stuff by my bin that wasn't mine, which I wasn't happy about. It's a vacuum cleaner, if you remember.
Oh,
or
right.
We
as
do remember.
As we call it in our house, a noo-noo.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's
Shut
something
up.
else in our house.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
shut up about it. So,
One of your neighbours had fly-tipped you.
yeah, so they'd put a bag of stuff and also a noo-noo.
Someone who didn't want to pay for its removal. I
Well,
wonder
I
who
don't
that
know.
could have been David Baddiel.
I don't know what
Four
it's
doors
about.
down.
No, he'd never throw away a vacuum cleaner. He'd use it as a brush.
Nice.
So, there was an old garden chair suddenly appeared next to my bin. I mean, one that looks like it's been out in the weather for many years. A wooden fold-up garden chair.
Oh, like a deck chair?
Well, it was all wood, though. Like slats for a seat.
right.
Sort of thing you'd find in a sort of East
No,
London
slats.
pub. One of those
Yes.
trendy ones.
Yeah, okay, but it was old. So that was there. And it wasn't too bashed up. I mean, it was old and it'd been weathered, but it was almost like they thought I could afford to refurbish it. And maybe, like, you might leave a foundling child on the step of a richer person to give it a better life. I don't know if they thought I was going to do that. I was
Like a home to waif furniture.
and I was furious because I'd said to you before that I'm very angry about the fly tipping, and I was thinking of an all-night vigil when I hide behind the wheelie bin.
Yes.
I mean, ideally, but probably not realistically, with a harpoon gun.
No.
Yes, and I think
not
we
at that kind of
established. I
range.
don't think your neighbours would be alarmed at all.
I think you should go pea shooter and gravel, because at that range, a harpoon's
Pea
probably
shooter
not-
and gravel, what a double act they were.
They were good.
Hello,
weren't
I'm Pea Shooter, and I'm Gravel. Can I do the song? You can do it after. So,
they? They were good. But that's not their best stuff.
so
but
it's
they were-
almost like they've left me the chair for my vigil.
Oh yes, that's what it is,
Heard it
Frank.
on the radio.
Maybe a rug. Someone will drop off a nice tartan travel rug the next
So
day.
I left it there. Kath was absolutely... Kath was, mad about it. She really doesn't want them terrible things to happen to them. So a couple of days later, somebody had... they'd tied a sort of ribbon on the chair.
Oh, as a sort of gift.
Well, I think somebody must have found a ribbon that had perhaps fallen from a child's hair. You know when people put stuff on walls if it's been found? So they'd put it, and it looked like it had decorated. It looked like the chair was taunting the people who'd left it. You know that thing in the paper of Ashley Cole say something like, what's she called? Ashley Cole's ex-wife?
Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl shows Ashley what he's missing. It's like the chair with a bit of ribbon on. The people who tipped it thought, actually, looks quite good with a bit of ribbon on it.
Look what you could have won.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll take it back. And I think maybe that's what I'm going to do in future, is if they leave stuff, I'm going to do it up a bit and leave it out and see if they...
Nice idea.
Oh,
See if
that's a
they-
good idea, Frank.
Yeah, see
I
if they
wish I
draw
lived
them back.
near you. I've got a few bits that could do with sprucing up, and then I'll
I
just come
do
back
that.
and have them back.
You know,
I'm going to spend thousands getting it refurbed.
That's a brilliant idea. And,
Yeah.
you know, Kate and William, they had the split and they got back together.
Yeah.
And why couldn't that happen with the garden chair?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, Frank, we've had a text in which weaves in, rather ingeniously, the two themes of dining out on an anecdote and Erica Rowe, who seems to be another theme this morning.
Oh, yes, Erica Rowe, the rugby streaker.
Yes. Frank et al. Bad start? Question mark? No, I quite like it.
It's not true for a start off.
No.
I didn't.
Read Dining Out on an Anecdote. The recently mentioned Erica Rowe two recently, but that's okay,
That's okay.
came to have her hair done by my girlfriend.
Ah.
I like the way you say, like it's the beginning of a Confessions of a Hairdresser film
No,
from
but
an
that's-
Asquith, who was so impressed with Miss Rowe's stories, she decided to give her hairdo free.
So she didn't dine out,
Yes.
but she
Well.
was coiffured out.
You say she didn't
She's
dine
something
out.
else out.
Oh.
As her appointment included a biscuit and a cake, does
Ah.
that constitute dining out? That's Bernard from Reddit.
I think that probably does.
I do.
Excellent work,
Yeah.
Erica Rowe.
Well done.
What if she dyed her hair? She'd have been dyed
Died out.
Dyed out. What happened to her?
Died out.
She was good.
You don't want to die out on an anecdote, do you?
Died out.
Yeah.
She's still working, Dido?
No.
Can't
sorry
have
to
it.
hear
There's
that.
not much call for that anymore.
I met her. She was very, very lovely. I met Erica Rowe. I interviewed Erica Rowe. The great thing
You've
about
worked with
Erica...
them all.
Yes.
You've worked with them all.
The great thing about Erica Rowe is when she did that streak, she had like jeans and like suede boots on, and she was a buxom woman.
Oh, she was.
But I tell you what, and she had like a little silk scarf around her neck. The white people used to wear them then. But she had a
with
cigarette.
no top. And then the silk scarf, like a Chippendale.
Yeah, like a little tied one, like David Essex,
yeah.
trying to look a bit romantic. And she had a cigarette. Do you remember when people used to play stage drunkards? They'd have a cigarette that was broken in the middle and
Yeah,
hanging
yeah.
down. She had one of those that had genuinely got broken.
She's my idol now.
Yes, I think we that's it. She's a new friend of the show has been born. Erica Rowe, the rugby. Surely she's called out during the World Cup to do stuff.
I don't know.
What stuff? What stuff? Now we're going to go over to Eric. Who's going to have her on the programme?
I don't know. Also, I don't know if she's an older woman now. She's not going to recreate the act unless she's got pallbearers. Oh, wish I hadn't said that.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner
Ironically.
on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website. There you have it.
My two worlds are colliding today because it's London Fashion Week and it's taking place outside this very studio.
Yes.
And Daisy, the producer, just said, there's two girls dressed in black smoking. That'll be my girls.
That'll be models, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're two tall, slim women.
All the ladies are going to be here soon. So I'm just
What are they
saying,
going to
brace
do?
yourselves.
Are they going to parade?
No.
Okay.
I'll just talk about people and
What are
smoke.
they going to do? Lollop? What kind of...
Might eat a
I hope they
smint.
lollop. Do they lollop models? I don't think they do.
No, they glide, don't they? They
I don't
glide.
think they're capable.
They might lick a sweet and then put it in the bin, and then we'll...
Okay, well, I'm having that sweet. Oh, well, it's very exciting. I've never felt so much at the centre of the fashion world as I do this morning.
There's going to be a lot of shoulder...
You wouldn't think if you saw my outfit.
There'll be... I know. I'm glad you've dressed for the occasion.
Yes, but, you can't compete with these people.
Oh, thanks.
I'm not going to... What's that shop called? Jago of the... What's that shop
What
you
is
see
that
around
shop?
London? Jago of the something with big, hats in and things.
Oh,
Glad you're asking me.
So it's called something like Jago of the Yard.
I can't get that far down the fashion food chain.
I think Jago of the Yard is an obscure novel, isn't it?
Is it? If someone can tell me, it's got the kind of
Jago
clothes
of
in it.
the
You think
Yard?
that's beautifully made, but who? Remember my
Is Jago of the Yard not like Stig of the Dump?
it might not. It's Jago something. And do you remember my dream about Gokwan? Not my dream, my lie about Gokwan, when I told my girlfriend I was doing a show with him in which I walked around northern towns in avant-garde clothes.
Called Would You Wear That?
Now, why are you wearing that?
Why are you
the
wearing
show was
that?
called. Well,
Oh, you're having a go at me for the show that doesn't exist. No, it's called Why Are You Wearing That?
Well, Jago of the Foggy Quadrangle, or whatever it's called, has got those kind of clothes in. Clothes that you would only normally see on someone who knew Boy George really well.
Oh, okay.
All Saints
He
or
is.
something
No! I'm not thinking of All Saints.
What sort of clothes? Is it sort of apocalypse chic?
Like, you know those hats like Boy George used to wear, those big...
The ones that Pharrell wears?
Who? Yes, the one... Will Ferrell.
Colin Farrell?
Oh, my God.
Anyway, let's not get into
It's
Pharrell.
like an episode of Derek.
I don't know if you can... Can you say that? Sure you can't say that. Oh, look, let's talk about something else. My stomach's tightened up.
No, because it's in an
Not
old
before
folks'
time.
home.
Not
It
before...
is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh,
Shall
I
we
know what I
talk
want to
about-
talk about. Jezza Corbyn.
Yes.
JC.
Jezza
There can be only one
Corbyn.
JC.
Yeah,
Jezza
move over
Corbyn.
Clarkson. There's a new Jeremy in town making...
New Jeremy C.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about the nice one.
Well, we don't know
Well-
yet, do we?
Well, we don't know,
Which
that's
nice
true.
one?
Early
But,
days.
I think the signs are good. And I'll tell you why. They've criticised his clothes.
Yeah.
I like his clothes. They say the clothes are a bit scruffy. I think it's intellectual chic. It's like liberal chic.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely that, I would say.
I mean, I think nowadays, times have changed. The most high-status person in the room is the scruffiest. Frank Skinner, look at you today.
Well, it's the Steven Spielberg thing. Check into a hotel wearing a baseball cap, jeans and stuff, and people think, who's that? And of course, he's the richest man in the hotel. I don't know. I'm not saying that Jeremy Corbyn is the richest man in Parliament. If that comes out, he's ruined.
yeah, I think that's...
He's been criticised
out.
for having a pen in his pocket.
Has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, people don't write anymore.
No.
What if he'd had the Peerless 125? That would have shot him. That would have been the end of him, wouldn't it? Dave, you might get away with a crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big crystal.
Not a cigar, though. I'd love it.
I generally have a pen. Somebody sent me, actually. I should do an official thank you someone sent me, those propelling pencils.
Oh, yeah.
Because one thing that I do get sent on
Why are
this
you
show...
delving into a bag like Crackerjack?
One thing I get sent on this show is writing implements.
You do like
Frank,
stationery, don't you?
Can I tell you what else he likes, I've noticed? You're fond of a free fabric bag, aren't you?
I like these.
Love
What do
the
they call
totes.
these bags?
Totes.
Free.
Now this one
Free.
was
they call them,
designed by my son. You see, he's coloured it in. He's coloured it in and
that is
written
nice, yeah,
written
yeah.
his name on it. I didn't know he could write his name. It's a bit of a Midwich Cuckoo moment.
He signed it Liberty Skinner.
So anyway, Nicholas Hemingway wrote to me and sent me a stainless steel mechanical pencil, handmade.
No.
Yeah. And I must say,
Let's have a look.
it's a beauty.
You get everything, don't you?
He did say he would send you to one on request.
Right. Oh.
But I think you have to write it.
Ambassador, you're spoiling us.
Exactly.
I'm not going to beg for it, Nicholas.
Oh God, he took it harsh.
I haven't.
Well, anyway,
We don't beg.
Got my own pens.
So I've
Pencils.
taken to carrying that in the jacket pocket.
Yeah, stainless steel as well. Sounds like
Yes, so if it rains, it's fine. Because I mean, but this new stainless steel stuff, it doesn't rust.
that's good.
New stainless steel stuff. That's like the new soda streams that are out. Frank.
Everyone's talking about it. Stainless steel. The reason it's called stainless, you see, is because you don't get the staining that rust brings.
Is that right?
Yeah. If anyone else has encountered stainless steel, text us in.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've got a couple of texts about your comments, not on Jeremy Corbyn, because we never really did them. But, hi Frank, the shop you were asking about is called Child of the Jago near Spitalfields Market.
I know what that
There's
is.
one on Charing Cross Road as well.
Is there?
I know, it's a kind of gothic font. I know the one you mean now.
Yeah, but the stop. It's that,
Yes.
those clothes that look like works of art.
Yes.
But
You're
there's
right
only
about
a
the Vivienne
certain-
Westwood reference.
Yeah,
very
there's
good.
only a certain person who could wear them.
Right.
And I'm not that person, but I could admire their beauty, certainly.
I'm going to call it Dandy After the Apocalypse.
Yes, very good. That's what
Thank
it would
you.
be. It would be people were really trying to make an effort to brighten things up after the world had been wiped out by nuclear warfare.
Excellent. We've
That'd
also
be
had
me.
we've also had a text from 381 who's texted you. I think it's you specifically. We've all heard of stainless steel. Signed, everyone in Sheffield.
Oh.
Which is fast work, because you only talked about it about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it's really been around. Maybe they've got a group email set up.
Or maybe it's one of the things that we were just talking about this in the pub last night.
Right, yeah.
Well, David from St Albans has this news. Hi guys, I have a stainless steel potato peeler.
Wow.
That is good, isn't it?
He
What is
says,
that? Does he mean a knife?
It's
he said-
amazing what they can do now.
He said which is somewhat stained.
It's
What?
stained.
Yeah.
I hate when things don't live up to their promise.
Doesn't make any sense.
No,
Is
exactly.
it steel? Does it stain then?
Well,
That's the text.
according
Does
to David from
stainless
St
steel
Albans,
stain? Can we establish that? The guy from Sheffield will know.
Yeah,
Well, anyone
381
from the
if you can get back
70s
to
will
us.
know.
Yeah, but that's shocked me now. I buy into it. If something's called stainless, that's it for me. I assume it's stainless.
Okay, so I think we've
Is he
talked quite a lot about
perhaps
stainless steel already this
I
morning.
don't think the big
Should we
satire
talk about
shows are
something
worried
else?
about our Corbyn stuff, do you?
Oh, I like Corbyn, I'm
He
sorry.
seems nice, doesn't he?
Yeah, but then they had a go at him. So you think the clothes are okay? What do you two
Yeah,
think?
I like the lecturer look.
Normcore, isn't it? He's quite normcore.
But it's a lecturer who doesn't mind having a drink of a pint of real ale with the students after.
That's exactly it,
I think he
Frank.
might be a non-drinker, is he?
No, but you know what I mean. It's that
Yeah, yeah.
look. That he's a lecturer. But he's not aloof.
Yes.
I have to
You're so
say,
right.
this few minutes is probably the most positive press he's had this
No,
week.
they have been after him.
Oh
haven't they?
my goodness, so many people have told us to hate him, and a lot of them are horrible. The people that
Pretty much
don't
all of
like
them.
him. I mean, when I was reading the other day how much I should dislike Corbyn, and I looked at the top of the article and saw it was Rod Liddell, and I thought, you're telling me that Corbyn's not nice, you're horrible.
All those at Wimbledon's he won now in the 60s and 70s. Yes. Well, as we know, this is not actually a political programme. So the question I want to ask is, Tom Watson?
Yes.
He's his vice, his deputy.
Oh, yeah,
leader.
his partner in crime.
So do Tom Watson's nephew and nieces refer to Jeremy as Uncle Tom's Corbyn?
Oh.
That is what we need. You don't get that on Question Time.
Certainly don't.
Speaking of Question Time, did you notice that he did that? When he got up in PMQs, which is called Prime Minister's Questions, but people who don't really know call it Prime Minister's Question Time because they've got a bit mixed up with Question Time at TV. He did it.
Daisy calls it the other day.
About 3 times he called it Prime Minister's Question Time.
No.
Oh, I like him. It's like when they say,
Like Question Time had suddenly like Bruce is The Price is Right.
Yeah.
It's like when you call it The Jungle, Frank, instead of I'm a Celebrity.
Yes. And but you'd think when you're taking part in Prime Minister's Questions, you might ask someone what it's called before you're going to start talking about it. So that was a mistake on his part.
Okay.
But, he seems all right, I think, so far. But he might turn out, like so many politicians, to be a terrible monster. That's the exciting thing about politics, isn't it?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, JC, we were talking about, when he did the PMQs...
JC did the PMQs? Okay.
OMG.
Yeah.
He went a bit rogue, didn't he? Because he asked real readers, if I may call them that.
Yeah.
He asked their actual questions.
Yeah,
he
I didn't like that.
Marjorie from Nuneaton wants to know whatever happened to Spangles.
I liked it because
I resented the fact that he never asked my permission to use the email corner jingle, which he started it with.
Imagine if he had like a reader's questions jingle.
What if he'd suddenly gone email corner just for a...
Imagine if he'd have done their voices as well. I had an email from Tina from Merseyside. She says, all right, I'd like to know what you're going to do about social
No,
housing.
if he'd have done that, it would have been great.
I know.
Or if it's on your particular foible of, she says, Yeah,
Tina said, oh, well, and Susan from Hampshire, she's turned round and she said...
I liked it.
I didn't like it.
He said that he got 40,000 replies, didn't he? He said he got 40,000 emails for questions for the Prime Minister. And I think he used 4 or 5 because the rest of them were impenetrable, disgusting, horrible. Like, they must have been. Or stupid. I mean, how many stupid out of 40,000 do you think there were? About... 39,000?
Well, maybe, but I miss the personal abuse which I associate with PMQs.
Oh, go on Twitter then.
He wants intelligent PMQs. He wants it to
I know he said that, but and we all think, oh, that's a great idea, but when you actually watch it, it's like when you watch The Voice having watched X Factor. I miss people being reduced to tears. I hate myself for it. Right. But I liked it when they get up and say terrible things about each other.
Yes. Well, you see, they can't do that when they're hiding behind the readers' questions. I mean, they can't be mean about the readers.
Do you remember that one when Miliband very confidently got up, Ed Miliband, and said to David Cameron, "Well, I know things are pretty strange between you and the Liberal Democrat leader, and I know you're not getting on very well." And he was loving it, the fact that Clegg and Cameron said, "It's not that bad. It's not like we're brothers or something like that." And you thought, wow. I know it probably wasn't his line, but it was a killer. And poor old Ed had no comeback, just crumbled down.
Well, he should have.
Yeah, but what about not singing the national anthem?
Yes, he was at what was it? It was a Battle of Britain.
It was a Battle of Britain celebration at Westminster Abbey, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think before we take this on in light-hearted bants, I think we should all say that obviously if we'd lost the Battle of Britain, that would have been very bad news. So those guys were incredibly brave, and well done to them. At another one of our late reviews.
75 years.
Battle of Britain went well.
I like well done to them. Big shout going out to the fellas there.
So you got to give them massive respect.
Oh yeah, respect is due.
Yeah.
But you see, I think you don't have to sing the national anthem to give them respect.
Oh, would you say so then?
The Queen doesn't sing it.
Is that true?
Yeah, I've stood near the Queen when the national anthem was sung. She doesn't. It's like wearing your own tour T-shirts.
That's true.
Suppose you
it's
feel
like
a bit bad
you singing 3 lines at Wembley. It's a bit naff.
Oh, we did sing
You've done that though, haven't you? You've done that.
Don't tell me you did sing it when
course
everyone
he's
else
done that.
sings
Of
it.
course.
If you
He's
just
done
heard
that.
them under a breath saying me when everyone else was singing the
Happy
Queen.
birthday to me, those people.
Yeah. Yeah, but so mate, was she there at Westminster Abbey?
Don't believe she was,
Okay.
but I might be wrong.
No.
But that would have been a good excuse, you see, if he'd have looked across and thought, you don't have to sing it then.
Yeah.
Some people don't know the words. Daisy,
I don't know the
producer,
words.
doesn't know the words.
I don't know the words except for the ones that I don't agree with, like "God Save Our Gracious Queen." Why would I
he's
sing
going
that?
oh, dear.
Although that said, I sometimes sing songs that I don't believe in, like, you know, Puff the Magic Dragon. I don't believe in that, but I still sing it. Maybe Corbyn's just got
Do
a
you
very
believe
rigid
that?
rule.
What about the existence of Johnny Paper? Are you saying that is...
Johnny Paper, is that
Yeah,
a
he's
song?
the friend of Puff the Magic Dragon.
Is he? I've
Yeah.
fallen over the
Little
first-
Johnny Paper loved that rascal Puff.
Wasn't it Jackie Pepper?
I think it was Johnny Paper.
No, I think that's a misheard lyrics thing. I
Finally,
think it's
we've got a
Jackie
text
Pepper.
Well, I've always said that on the day we
Johnny
do...
Paper?
On the
Why would they
day...
call it that?
I always said on the day we do misheard lyrics on this show is the day I'll resign.
No, but you've actually done one.
Been good working with you guys.
Oh,
You've
no.
actually done one, Frank. It's not Johnny Paper. What sort of child's name is
I
that?
think it was Johnny... You're going to tell me that...
It's Jackie Pepper.
I think it's Johnny Paper, but
I don't
do
know
let
the
us
style.
know, readers.
I
don't
can't
know the
imagine our
style.
readers will have
We,
an opinion.
we do agree that
Puff the Magic Dragon.
that Puff actually frolicked in the autumn mist. We agree with that.
Yes.
Don't we?
Oh, frolic, all
we're, not,
right.
we're not debating that. Johnny Paper, Jackie Pepper. You decide.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
We should just say, if anybody's just tuned in and you're wondering what the lyrics are to Puff the Magic Dragon, then you've stumbled upon the perfect radio show. Because that's today's texting.
And Frank
the
and
whole
I...
lyrics. It's whether the character who befriends Puff,
called-
and then, might I say, leaves Puff.
I said Jackie Pepper, Frank said Johnny Paper.
Yes.
And can I just say, it was a sort of low-level dispute.
Yeah. But we care.
Yeah,
I would
of
say
course we
it's-
care, we both care.
I would say it was about 4 out of 10 on your argument scale.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. We've had the results are in.
Peter, Paul and Mary have texted. Was it them who did it? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so. The results are in.
Go on.
Well, look. 867 has texted us. She says Frank is right.
It's Jackie Paper.
No. Then
Oh, no, Johnny
328
Paper.
says you're
Johnny.
both right. It's Jackie Paper.
It's Jackie
so we were
Paper.
both right. Oh, you said Johnny. I said Jackie.
I
so
call
you
him
know what?
Johnny. You see, it's like John Charlton. Everyone called him Jackie.
Don't try and make
No, no.
excuses for it.
Okay,
You got it half
no, it's
right,
a
and I
nice
got it
result.
half right.
It's a nice
lovely
result.
I'm
So you're
happy.
I'd say the surname was the most important. But anyway,
No, I wouldn't.
it's a nice result.
I'm glad.
Johnny Paper.
So it's Jackie Paper.
Yeah, Jackie Paper.
So you're each leaving with your dignity.
Yes, exactly.
You're both half right, not half wrong, yeah?
And I'll
This is
tell you
glass half
something
full
else.
stuff.
Even though I was half wrong,
Yes.
can I tell you this? When I'm on my deathbed and they say to me, "What did you do in your life?" and I'll say, "I had a radio show on commercial radio on a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
on which we had a text in, which was, what was the name of the boy who befriended Puff the Magic Dragon? I can go to meet my maker
Yeah.
with my head held high."
You
Okay.
can anyway.
Oh, Puff the Magic Dragon, lift up harmony. Puff the Magic Dragon,
I'm not joining in it.
by the sea. Okay.
I don't
Hey.
believe in dragons. I'm not joining in. I'm like
Don't
those
believe
people,
in dragons?
I'm like those people that don't join in with God Save the Queen.
Right.
Okay.
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 Which is how this started, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
this
because we
fun?
were talking about
That's-
JC, and he wouldn't sing.
Yeah. I think he
I
might
think-
in the future, though.
I also think that the people involved in the Battle of Britain have had seen enough of life to be forgiving characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have took umbrage with the Queen's Nazi salute. You could argue.
Lest we forget.
But no, they've let that go. If you can let that go, you can let not singing the national anthem go.
Well, we don't know that they'll let that
Maybe.
go. They might be
Well, come in.
furious.
Maybe he can't sing.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Some people are embarrassed of their voice.
Yes.
David Baddiel.
Some
And-
people don't know the words.
Yeah.
Some people don't believe in God or the monarchy.
Yeah, but
There's
as you
lots of
say,
reasons.
it's all right to sing about stuff that you don't necessarily believe.
Yeah, I think Nicola Sturgeon sings it, and it's got a line in it about Killing the Scots as well.
It
later
has
on.
not got a
No, it
line
hasn't. You
about
don't know
killing
the lyrics.
Scots.
I don't know the lyrics, but I
It
think it's got
definitely-
something anti-Scottish in there.
Oh,
Oh.
has it? Let me think.
Go right through
Puff
it.
the magic. Little jockey Piper. Little jockey Piper, yeah. Oh, yeah, he comes out pretty bad. Because he started...
Jockey McPiper.
Because Jockey McPiper decides that having been with the dragon for ages, through
Yeah.
rough and thin, he wants to now go off on his own.
Oh, well, what's for you won't pass you by. What's not for you? What is the expression she uses?
What's for you won't go by you.
Oh, okay. Love
yes.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
that. Ian Moore has tweeted me.
Not Ian Storymore, he used to play for Notts Forest.
No, funnily enough.
Okay.
Ian Moore, the comic, who's a mate of mine.
No.
Oh.
Any more?
Any more?
Well, I did that on purpose.
Very good.
And also, what I like the idea that the Any was spelled A-N-I, an anagram of Ian.
Yeah, very good.
That's brilliant if you thought that as well. Did you
It's
think
brilliant if you're listening to a Radio 2 phone-in.
Okay.
Ian Moore has tweeted me to say, no, it's definitely Johnny Paper.
Oh dear, it's swinging back.
Oh dear.
It's a knockout.
Oh dear, so I might be right.
No, one person said that. One
Yeah, but it's
lone
Ian
voice
Moore.
of dissent.
Ian Moore, playing for Notts Forest, that gives him some authority.
The vast majority is saying Jackie Paper.
Yes, well, you know what happens when you listen to the vast majority.
Yeah. We've also had somebody text in the entire verse. I don't know if we should waste time reading that. Is it a wasted time?
I'll sing it if you like.
Go on then.
Go on then.
So I sing it quicker than usual.
Yeah.
Puff Magic Dragon. And do you want to go into a bit about little Jackie Paper? Loved that rascal Puff. He bought him string and things and lots of other stuff. He brought him sealing wax. Was one of the things he brought him.
Brought him
Ambassador,
strings.
you're spoiling us.
He brought him
Yes.
strings
No wonder he
and
never came
sealing
back.
wax and other fancy stuff.
Yeah, that's what he did. He brought him. You know the luxury item you get on Desert Island Disc. He basically brought him loads of those to choose from.
Oh, that's nice.
But no discs.
That's what I remember Adrian
No,
Charles
this-
said. That's what he got as a Christmas present once from his parents.
What sealing wax?
You know, a ball of string. Did he? Yeah, I thought that was a great present. He said it was the most useful present he's ever got.
Was he? Is that when he used to be a cat? So he was a cat for about 4 years.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Shall we get to email corner or rather more text?
Shall we?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it. See, we don't play many jingles. Remember, I used to play jingles all the time.
I think we need to do a new one. For
Do you
that
think so?
Email. You know what? I've had my turn. I've had my
you
Marty
think it's
McCutcheon
Alan's?
moment. I
What
think it's
about-
Alan's
Goodness,
moment in the
she's stepping
sun.
aside. She's stepping aside.
I just think it's your turn.
I'd like Alan to do one.
Feels like that.
Email corner.
E-by-gun mail corner.
Oh, there you go. We're off.
I have an email here that I'm going to confess early doors that I don't fully understand. So let's work our way through it, and perhaps I can be.
Is it in Sanskrit?
I can be the listener's ear, because I
You
think
are every man.
I can be that guy if it helps. Dear Frank, Emily, and Gareth. I am a long-term reader and love the show. I was so happy that you kept "If the Good Lord Spare Us" and "The Creeks Don't Rise." I understand that bit, obviously. I just wanted to tell you about the adventures of my sister-in-law, Linda, and niece Maddie in Covent Garden last Wednesday.
Let's give this a bit of a background. Linda and Maddie
You want me to carry on reading?
went out with each other.
Oh, hang on. This is.
Around lunchtime, I received a text from my sister-in-law, who's a bit of a celebrity magnet. She's bumped into the likes of Graham Norton and Dustin Hoffman, and now Frank Skinner. Nay liberty.
I like Dustin Hoffman, and now Frank Skinner.
Dusting off. No,
The
Frank.
text message read, Frank Skinner has just told Maddie to do her shoelace up. As an avid listener of the podcast, I was genuinely excited, as I know Frank has a habit of talking about his week's experiences on the show, but my cup of joy overflowed when I saw the podcast was titled Footlace. Frank then described the experience as dealing with a goth, brackets Emily, she's nothing like a goth.
Well, she had black hair and black clothes on.
Yep.
Wow.
Come on.
Bang to rights.
You're
right.
You're
Sounding
witness.
a bit...
The
No further questions.
The ironic thing was, her grandma had told her to do it up, and she'd completely ignored her. It wasn't until a Top Gear presenter grabbed her arm and told her to do it up that she tied up the said lace, thereby preventing a non-goth related accident. Now, there's quite a lot in there that
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
so
get.
much going
Can
on.
I say the Top Gear presenter to new readers?
Which, yeah.
I was mistaken
Yes.
for one of them the other week. I don't know which one, but a woman grabbed me for a photo and then shouted to her family, here, pointing at me from about 2 inches from my face, Top Gear!
Were you choking a waiter about your late pastrami at that point?
I was. And I had bootcut jeans on.
And did you have a leather cord necklace? Perhaps, and a midlife crisis.
Yes. Anyway, so that's what. Well, first of all,
Disgusting
Maddie,
people.
I'm sorry I assigned you to the wrong youth subculture. But the Goths are, a long-term respected
Yes.
section of society.
She hasn't
Nothing to be ashamed of.
she hasn't sent a recategorising
I
of...
love a goth.
No,
Please
I love
use
the
emo
Goths.
or
The Goths
anything
are
like that.
they're my favourite youth
Are they?
subculture.
Give
Yes.
me goth over basic any day.
Yes. That's a lovely quote. I'm glad. I'm not clear whether she actually... did she fasten it after I told her then?
Sounds like it.
Oh, that's good. I might have prevented a very serious accident. I should be thinking about that when I peruse the honours list in January.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Services to the goth community. I was talking to a young woman recently,
Oh, this sounds a nice anecdote.
and I
Remember where you are, Saturday
Yeah.
morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you after.
Kath listening.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. And Judge Pickles is here this morning.
No, what did I just say to you off air?
But anyway, hold on, I have to do this bit. Text the show. Text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Sometimes the best bits happen off air. You know what I want to talk about this morning?
What?
Stainless steel.
No, we've talked about that. And not Jackie Paper
Puff
either.
the Magic Dragon.
Do you mean Johnny Paper?
What about when someone wrote in and said, I think Puff the Magic Dragon had suffering from depression?
He does suffer
Yeah, he
because
does.
Johnny stroke Jackie clears
he
off.
is, yeah.
Paper, Monsieur Paper.
Oh, dear.
He clears off. He finds other things to do, as young people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Usain Bolt, he's the one who does the 100 metres.
He does do that, yeah.
Yeah, which I've said before
Amongst other
on
things.
this show. I honestly think I could do that.
I feel like that about the, what was the one that I said that I felt like that about? One with the big stick where they go boing. They go boing and...
Pole vault.
No, the pole vault, you could do... No,
I
but
reckon I
100
could do that.
metres...
That's harder, I
I
think.
could do that, and I think I do that in 9 seconds every day.
You reckon?
Because it's just running quick.
It is
Anyone
just
can
running
do
quick.
that.
You're right. You've really captured
I don't think
what
there's
it
any
is.
skill involved in that race at all. I'm going to be honest. I think the longer ones I can see that, like 1500, you've got to pace yourself, you've got to overtake people.
Yeah.
That's just literally run as fast as you can.
You're right, it is that.
Very simple
It's
race.
a fair
You're
summary.
right.
So I could do that.
Apparently some of them hold their breath for the
That's
whole
right, yeah.
thing.
I mean, if you think about it, if it's under 10 seconds, you can keep your breath for that long, can't
Yeah.
Not if I'm running.
you? Right. You might be able to.
That's
let's,
what they've forgot, you see.
let's play a long song and we'll go down and do it.
Of course, I was there. I was, pardon? I was there the night he got Olympic gold in the 100 metres.
Were you?
I was in the stadium.
I was on the racetrack.
I just
Yeah,
looking
Emily
at me
placed.
just looking at me programme. There must have been someone who just nipped to the toilet
Yeah,
or
for
something
sure.
and come back. And what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Anyway, Usain Bolt has been in the news. It's
he
fair
sure
to
has.
say.
Yes, he has, because he ran up a £10,000 bar bill.
Whoa!
Oh, is that a lot?
This for a professional athlete, isn't it?
At a London club called Drama. That sounds a nice club, doesn't it?
Sounds terrible, doesn't
Don't
it?
you like the sound of drama?
I do not like the sound of drama.
How do you run up a £10,000 bar tab?
Oh,
Oh, I don't know why you're looking at me. I've never done that. I've been lucky to run up a 10 quid
tell you
bar
how.
tab in my
How
time.
much is a bottle of Lucasade Sport?
Yeah, he gets that stuff for free.
He gets it for free, then what's going on?
what's going on? Maybe he's graduated onto the lemon barley water like you, Frank.
I reckon that's what it is. I reckon he takes his own mixers in and he's just buying expensive spirits. They're like, gin and tonic, sir. And he's like, no, gin and Lucozade Sport for me. That's what I'm having.
Yeah,
I mean, he's having the...
Got it in my jacket.
He's having the Dom Perignon, obviously.
Do you think?
Can
you drink that if you're a professional athlete?
He's passing the Courvoisier, obviously.
I reckon he's handing it around to hangers on. I reckon he's getting the 10 grand bill by going, who wants a drink, guys?
No, apparently it was just a candlelit dinner for two with Judy Finnegan.
Oh, my days.
Oh, dear. So, no, it's incredible. And the fuss in the story...
He'll be running faster than him when he turns up.
It's not that he ran up such a big bar bill, is it? It's that he did a runner, as the tabs would say, didn't he?
I bet someone said he bolted. Come on.
Well, the fact that he did a runner is pretty good.
Yeah. And he...
was he bolting his drinks?
He sprinted off, Yes.
He did. He left, and then the next day he came back to Drama. Can you imagine working at Drama? Hello, Drama. Can I help you? Table for two.
I've never heard of her.
Well, no one has. It's where
a new club. That's what this whole story is about.
I bet he was completely dressed from Jago of the
Child of the Jago,
whatever it's called.
Child of the Jago.
I bet he was completely dressed there.
Yeah, I bet he was
exotic outfit.
I bet
he would
when
have
he
had
walked
a hat.
up.
He would have had a hat as well.
I reckon he was there in trainers and a full shell suit, and he walked up and the bar staff, the bouncers had to go, no train. Oh, actually, it's Usain Bolt. Yeah, you can come in.
Trainers and the shells. It was the Elton John tribute night.
Yeah. But he went back, in fairness, the next day to pay it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anyone said... It'd be pointless, wouldn't it, doing a runner if you're as famous as him?
Yeah.
Because someone's going to...
True.
Can I ask a question? Does he... he's one of those sporting celebrities that I can't imagine him in formal wear. I can't see him in a suit. I only see him in that little yellow top.
I imagine he wears a big baseball cap when he's out.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very
with that New York Yankees logo, but in a colour you wouldn't expect.
Oh, right. Like,
they do it not to get recognised.
Something, strange.
I don't believe this story, I'm going to say this.
Why not?
You've gone too far.
I think... Who opens a nightclub in Mayfair? Why would you have a new nightclub in Mayfair? I think they obviously know some PR people and they've said, get Usain Bolt to come and then we'll pretend that he didn't pay his bill and that he came back the next day and then we'll get in all the papers and we'll talk about this nightclub. It sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Cynical.
It sounds like a terrible nightclub. Mayfair. If someone said, do you want to come to a nightclub in Mayfair? You'd say, no, that sounds awful.
I wouldn't. I'd say, I'm 58.
And that sounds awful.
I'd probably say, who is this? And hold the phone slightly away from my head and look at the receiver.
I mean, good nightclubs are meant to be in sort of slightly rubbish places, aren't they? Like,
well, that's where the
I don't know what good
most famous
nightclubs
clubs in the world.
Really
in Elephant.
Nightclubs.
Good nightclubs are supposed to be in the 1970s.
Do you know what? I never liked a nightclub. Even when I was meant to like it, I hated it. There you go.
Well, I don't think we've got to the bottom of this story yet.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
The fashion people are arriving, Frank, outside.
Yes, outside in Golden Square we can see lots of modelly type women and men in shabby clothes with cameras.
Yes.
It's all happening.
Yeah.
As you say, your world, is coming to our world. It's very weird.
Welcome, we have much to teach you.
Yes, it's a bit like, I suppose, this going on FM in the West Midlands.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent to that for me.
That's exactly like London Fashion Week.
Region. A friend of mine, because when people think from the outside, they think the West Midlands, they think that it's all the same place, you know. But like, if you're from Birmingham, or you're from the Black Country, it's quite culturally quite different places, even though they're very close.
Is it? How cute.
And a friend of mine who was from Birmingham got a job in a factory in the Black Country, and he went and made the tea. First of all, he said, "Shall I go and make the tea?" And this bloke said, "Yeah, Coral, it takes time." So once he'd picked his way through that, later it means you can't have any tea because it isn't tea time. Oh. So then the guy went off when it was tea time, and he came with a tray, and a guy came up and said, "Who's in Sweden?" And who's in Sweden means whose one is which one. In other words, which one is...
Oh.
Anyway,
I thought
Usain Bolt.
Region was a bit like Child of the Jago.
Yeah, would be a good name for a shop, Usenswegian.
Yes. Which it turns out,
Yeah.
892 has texted us to say it's Vivienne Westwood's son's brand, which of course it is, Joe Corey.
Is that right?
Yeah, Malcolm McLaren and Vivienne Westwood's son. There
Do
you
you
go.
know, you know that thing we talked earlier about meeting celebrities and how you feel you can go over and say hello? I saw Vivienne Westwood at a bus stop in
That's very Vivienne
Whitehall,
Westwood.
sort
Yes.
of between Whitehall and Trafalgar Square. And I wanted to go up to her and say, I think you are one of the great living British artists. I just haven't got the nerve to do it, because I thought she might, I don't know.
I expect she would have loved that.
I thought she might have this idea she might gob on me. I don't know where I got that from. But I know, I think they're quite sort of feisty, the fashionistas, at that level. So I didn't.
But if she's listening,
She won't be. She might be in Golden Square, for all I
could
know.
be a shout out the window.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, the other... Can I establish, now this might be an age thing, I thought amateur... I thought athletics was still an amateur sport. Is that incorrect?
Oh, well, you mean they don't get paid?
Yes.
Or they're just getting... Yeah.
He gets quite a lot of money for
they just get
wearing clothes.
endorsements.
And
So yeah,
Yeah.
they get that. But do they paid if they run in a race? Do they get paid?
I don't know, because if they do, then
I don't
Emily's
know.
onto something, because she can do the 100 metres in 9 seconds, apparently.
Well, it might not be 9, but I could do it in like 10.
Well, I used to watch... and that, to be fair, that's in heels.
Yeah.
I bet you I could do that in 10
I
seconds.
mean, once you're in flats...
I think you could.
I think anyone could. Any child could.
Such is your confidence. You've completely swept me away
I
with you.
honestly think you'd be very surprised.
I just sit there, they'd fire the pistol and you go, oh, what's that? And the two, like, the race would be over. No, but I used to go to a lot of athletics.
Right.
I used to watch athletics live. And it was all sort of thermos flasks and cagoules, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes.
Mums,
Yeah.
enthusiastic mums with no makeup on.
It's
It
the
was-
sort of parents who gave their kids Ladybird books. I mean, that's a good thing.
And the, and, the,
Yeah.
and the runners would come and sort of sit in the stand and talk to people and so, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
very unprofessional in the best meaning of that.
Right, yeah.
But I don't... So I was sort of surprised that he's got the sort of money that he can do a 10 grand bar tab.
Oh, well, darling, they get paid a lot through endorsements. These people are rich beyond your wildest dreams.
Anyway, do
And
they
of
get
course,
paid to... If anyone knows, would he actually get paid to run?
That's a good question.
No,
To go with the many good textings we've already had today, does Usain Bolt get paid to run? is up
Surely
there.
not in the Olympics, they don't get paid to
I think
No,
a
you
better
don't get
question...
paid for Olympics, definitely
better question would be, would he have to pay the bar bill on this publicity stunt story? That's my theory.
I'm going to go so far as to say 100. He doesn't get paid in the for the Olympics.
Okay, and what about in his general running? World Championships?
I don't. I will come back to you on that.
What about chasing a bus? Does he get paid for that? If he's
No
missed
further
176?
questions at this time.
What about his head-to-head against Johnny Paper?
I don't know all of it about athletics. Only some
No,
of
that
it.
was Johnny Paper, who was the friend of Puff the Magic
I
Dragon.
know.
I think you forgot for a second.
I didn't.
Oh, how awkward.
I've got my race coming up in a minute.
Okay, you should be warming up. You haven't even got your headphones on.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I wish you two would relax. I've never seen two people run over to a window with greater speed. That's what I'm saying.
well-
and it's because of London Fashion Week.
There's all sorts of exotic people outside.
There's
wanted to say
women,
weird and
basically,
wonderful.
wearing heels.
Not just. I mean, it's not. I can't see any models. They're just, people, fashionistas.
I'll pass on your review later to them.
Who are endlessly fascinating.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about when I did a runner, by the way?
No, have you done a runner?
Oh, I've done loads of them.
Have you?
You don't strike me as the
I
runner
don't remember
type.
any of their names. No, I did. I was with my friend Fairs, who I was at school with, and we were in Pizza Land.
Right.
Does that still exist, Pizza Land?
No,
Pizza
but I do
Land.
remember it.
Pizza
Yes,
Land,
it had
yeah.
a green neon sign, Frank.
It was.
didn't it?
I think it might have been the first of the pizza chains. in
Hang
this
on, can we
country.
stop the show just for a moment? Emily, your collar's turned upwards and it's really not looking right. And I know that you'll be absolutely mortified if
I
I
like
let you
it.
carry
It's a
on.
bit
with it.
Elvis 1956.
Looked a bit more rugby
Okay.
player at Twickenham to me, but...
Oh,
hey.
now you're talking.
Okay, as you were, Pizza
Yes.
Yeah. So we had pizza, and then going out and pizza. I think pizzas were new to this country at the time.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
they were very exotic.
Yeah, and so we ordered pizzas, and it was all lovely. And he said, "Let's do a runner." It was like
Did he?
it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd gone there straight from school.
Yeah.
And we were right at the back. I said, "Why did you sit here if you wanted to do it?" He said, "No,
Good point.
just walk out normally, really casually, and then absolutely bomb it." This was it was New Street in Birmingham. So,
Of course, it would have been before CCTV, wouldn't it? You could
oh
easily
God,
do it.
yes, it was before TV.
It was before cars.
So we got up. We finished our meal. My heart was thumping a bit. We got up. And we absolutely bombed it down New Street. And then Paul went into like an alley thing, and we were and like having giggles. And then he said to me, "Oh, hold on, I've forgot me satchel."
No.
And he'd left his satchel in the shop with his name.
Do you know
We
what?
have to have our name and address in the front panel.
That's the thing that lets all great criminal masterminds down for getting their satchel.
I think
is.
I think
It is. That's
Ronnie
what the
Biggs
Diamond-
forgot his satchel.
Yeah, the Diamond Heist guys, they left
Forgot the
their
satchel.
they left their bus passes. Different story, but same
Charles
problem.
Bronson forgot his satchel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, Frank, but do you know why that surprises me? Because you don't strike me as a fleer.
Well, it was, you
Don't
know,
strike me
it
as
was
a massive criminal, to be honest.
No,
No.
it wasn't. Hold on, it was 2 pizzas in Pizza Land. They were
Well,
probably 8 pence each.
back then.
Anyway, we had to go back, cap in hand as it was. And then
Yes.
what got me is that one of the waiters came out and grabbed us, even though we were walking back, and he said, "You're fast, but we're faster." And I said, "Well, to be fair, that's not true, is it? We're coming back. We're walking back. You haven't run after
No,
us."
but that's
and-
my catchphrase to Usain Bolt. And he's picked it up.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't have said that to him.
Yeah, I would.
But yeah, so that was my last ever runner. If anyone's listening, can we say that Absolute Radio does not condone crime?
I love that you felt the need to point this sort of stuff.
But the irony is, I've been dining out on that anecdote ever since.
Oh, yeah.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a few texts in to answer a few of the questions that we've got set up.
Yeah.
Athletics is amateur in that athletes aren't paid by teams or paid to compete. There are, however, prizes at events for various achievements, i.e. getting through various rounds, breaking world records. On top of this, athletes receive money from endorsements and sponsorships. That's from 985.
But you wouldn't get appearance money like,
No.
like the
Like Wimbledon.
cheeky girls get for turning
No,
up at
not
a
like the
nightclub.
cheeky girls.
No.
Usain Bolt is very different from the cheeky girls, I think. That's safe to say. 901 has texted, world champs, gold equals £60,000, silver equals £40,000, bronze equals £20,000 for all events.
Oh.
Which, I mean, if Usain Bolt wins gold in 9-something seconds,
Yeah.
60 grand,
not
that is more than my...
That's good for 9 seconds.
I mean, that's more than I get for this whole show. And I'm
Is
on
it?
here for
Is it?
Leave that with me.
3 hours.
Sorry to hear that, friend.
Are you guys on 60 plus? That is unfair.
That gives them a bit of incentive.
Yeah, I'd run faster
not
if there was
bronze,
60
come on.
grand in it.
Bronze,
Then
20.
there's
You're having a tin bath, aren't you?
And then the medal, our scrap has got to be worth.
Oh, I do
Few
it to wear
quid.
the tracky top and stand on the podium. Nice bunch of flowers from an old lady. Love it.
Do they still get the flowers?
Yeah, they get the flowers.
Oh, okay. Okay,
They were
well,
like My Materials 1980s. They
Thanks.
get the flowers.
thanks for clearing that up.
Yes.
Mucho appreciatum, as the Pope
We've
would
also
say.
had somebody text, 166 has texted, I would pay anything, in caps, to see Emily try to run the 100 metres in 10 seconds, 4 exclamation marks, 20 seconds maybe, they're saying. I reckon
Okay.
20 seconds.
I'm going to do it next week.
I think this should be staged.
I will do it.
It'd be really good VT, wouldn't it?
I think
would.
I will do it next week.
For the social
Really?
media.
Yes. I will honestly do it.
Emily
If we
Dean's
can-
going to crack
Quote
10
a great,
seconds.
I'm
quote
going
a
to
great
do
sporting
it.
figure. I would love to see
I'm
that.
not
I
going to
would
say I'm going
love
to track
that.
10 seconds, but I think I should attempt the
No.
100 metres. We'll do it in Golden Square.
I don't know if there is 100 metres. It has to be straight. We want to give you a fair chance.
Oh. Well, Daisy, can you sort out a road in London near here?
That's
I
a
will do 100 metres.
I would love to. That would be brilliant.
It's definitely 100 metres.
Okay, we'll find it.
Okay, well, yeah, great. What about if you fall over Ian Lavender on all fours? That's something to
you know-
we saw Ian Lavender on all fours in
Yeah.
the street many years ago. And we've never...
Well, we should say he fell over. He wasn't
don't-
just like a dog.
we don't know,
walking down the
that he
street.
fell over.
He's on the leash
I
of a
remember
guy
it-
dressed in leather.
Yeah.
All I remember is that John Le Mesurier was talking to a bloke and then he pushed him over and Lavender was deliberately crouching behind like naughty schoolboys.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Honestly.
We've had a text in, Frank, Alan and Emily. I work for Westminster Maintenance Contractor. We have the Strand underpass closed next Saturday for cleaning. It's definitely long enough for a 100-metre track. Let me know.
Yes.
So you're going to do it underground?
Yes. I'm
This
doing
could-
the 100 metres in the
Underground.
Strand underpass.
Imagine if this
But what if
kickstarts
I'm
a
really-
new underground athletics movement.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
those people that those people that jump the city and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
or like Fight
Imagine it.
Club.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
want any fans coming to see me.
Yeah, Ron. Well, they won't get down there if they're cleaning it.
Oh.
I mean, he'll have to check with his management.
Probably.
Yeah. If you
We
could
don't
check
want
with
you-
the appropriate
I don't want you
authorities.
inhaling too much.
You'll have to wear some
Domestos.
grippy footwear in case the view's like a Karcher
I'm going to get all
blaster
the
on
gear.
the floor surface.
I'm going to get everything will be sportive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
all going to be fine. Imagine if you and Alan
sounds
turned
fine.
up. You were my only fans. Oh, that'd be awful. And Daisy.
We'll be your cheerleaders, don't worry.
Yeah, you're going to run around with the flag up round your shoulders after.
I'm a professional.
Okay.
Frank,
You can't be a professional.
Can I
It's
just
an
say
amateur
something?
sport. We've had
What?
texts about that.
Yeah.
what if I was amazingly fast?
I know, that would be the best outcome, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be...
I think I will be. Honestly,
I do
I've
as well.
never felt sure of anything in my life.
Well, that's fair enough.
Okay. Can we, before we go, we're not going immediately.
Before you go.
Before we go, are you familiar with the work of Paul Danan? Or as I call
Vaguely.
him, Danan.
He's on the periphery of my knowledge of show business.
Paul Danan is... he's like a sort of reality person, isn't
Well, he was in Hollyoaks originally.
Okay.
which is
I
not
know
reality,
him
it's
better
fiction.
for his performance in Celebrity Love Island.
Oh, yes, I see.
He gets very emotional, Danan.
Does he?
Okay.
Yes. But why I would like to talk about him today is that
He loves
recently had
Indian
a
food. He loves Indian food, that's why they call him that.
Danan.
Yeah.
Danan. Danan bread, like the name.
Well, he's
Okay.
had a child. He's with child, Danan.
Okay.
And
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
He's listening.
he called his... I like the voice you did. His congratulations.
Congratulations.
And he's called it De Niro. De Niro Danan.
Wow.
De Niro.
I mean, far be it from me to mock anyone's celebrity child name. What I like about that, it fits perfectly, doesn't it, with status quo's Whatever You Want.
De Niro
De
Danan.
Niro Danan.
He visits his nan
De Niro
near
Danan.
where Emily ran. It's going to give me a headache.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about De Niro Danan,
Yeah.
the new child. And, I like the fact that he's gone surname, because I didn't do that when I had children. I went for the full... I named them after celebrities that have influenced me as well, yeah. So my
Oh.
son,
What did you
Michael
go?
Crawford Cochrane,
Oh, yeah.
and my daughter Ruth Maddock Cochrane, I never thought to just go straight to surname, but I like what he's done there.
Just skip straight to surname.
I can't think of the word De Niro, though, with that. Obviously, he was a great actor and all that, and he's been in lots of brilliant films.
I find him a bit over the top, but anyway.
But, do you? I think he's brilliant. But Elton John told me
Clang.
that, yeah,
Oh.
that he and David Furnish really got Robert De Niro really losing his temper and getting angry with them, because they had this thing that he used to call all their friends like girls' versions of their names. So they used they were calling him Roberta, and he just didn't like it.
Oh.
And so it was a bit of a scene.
Oh dear. Well, you don't want a scene with Elton.
What if the kid is like a little stroppy child and they're saying, De Niro, come here, and he turns around, are you talking to me?
Yes.
He might do.
I hope that's going to happen.
I do as well. If my surname was Danan, I'd have called him Rio Fur.
Oh, that's not. I could go for Forrester, Philippa Forrester.
Philippa Forrester Danan.
Forrester Dean. Forrester Dean.
Forrester Dean. What about Daniel? But then it gets shortened to Dan Danan.
Daniel.
Danan, like a slightly thrilling thing.
Dan. Yeah, that'd be good. He's got the villain right, though. I think
he has.
If there was a film that featured De Niro and Danan, I think De Niro would get top billing. But you know, that might not be true forever.
No.
Paul, if you're listening, chin up.
He's a lovely little actor.
Anyway, I know what I'll be doing at 7:40 this evening.
What?
I should be watching Doctor Who, which starts tonight.
Oh, my Who alerts haven't shown up.
And you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Thank you so much for listening. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.